Personal interest. 5 minutes, please, sir. Mr. Peeler.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. I'm an impatient man. I'll admit it. I don't have patience, and I've often wondered, why am I so doggone impatient? And I think back, I think it's because I've dealt with a perishable product all my life. When you deal with something that has a shelf life, dilly-dally and slow walking just doesn't work. And I have absolutely lost my patience when it comes to this infrastructure debate that we are not having. I think it's past time for us to have the debate on the floor on this subject. We started it a year ago, the need to address our infrastructure needs. We all understood at that time and this that to address this challenge, we must have reform, we must have relief, and we must have revenue. Reform of the DOT. We must have tax relief. And then we desperately need revenue to repair our roads and bridges in this state. It's time to hear from the secret committee. It's time for the secret committee to tell us their secret. Well, it's not a secret committee, it's a working group. It's time for the working group to show us their work. We've heard it in the Finance Committee, we've heard it in the Transportation Committee. It's time for us to have the debate on the floor of the Senate. No, it's not time, it's past time. Every day that we go, Senator from Lexington, there's more potholes in my area. We heard a report, I guess, from the folks that were working on this in the group, and there was something, it said the Peeler Amendment. They were working on the Peeler Amendment, Amendment number 22. Well, there's no Amendment 22 anymore. I've withdrawn that. So I just want to let you know there's no Amendment 22. And for me, there's no tax increase for roads until we address the reform of the DOT. Now, how do we do that? I've given you what I think the problem is. Here's the solution. I think we need to, and I don't think it's objected to, I think we need to go to page 44, S561, Senator Grooms and others, dealing with the DOT Commission. I think we need to take that up today, and I think we need to start debating it. That's the first hurdle in a 4-hurdle race. And you say 4 hurdle and not 3? Yes, it's 4. The first hurdle, the reform, Senator from Kershaw. Second is the relief. And then third is revenue for the DOT. But then what's the 4th hurdle? The 4th hurdle is the governor's veto pen. Whatever we craft on in the General Assembly, it must clear the governor's veto pen. And it must have those 3 components before we're successful. Patience. Members of the Senate, if we're entering into the next week of the 4th week of this session, the 4th week of this session, this bill, the highway funding bill that the House passed over last year, House 3579, it's here. It's been here for a year. We've talked about it. We've studied it. We've had committee and groups working on it. It's past time to have the debate on this thing. But to dilly-dally and slow walk for 4 weeks and nothing else gets done, Senator from Richland, the education question that we have. It's blocked. This is blocked. Ethics, blocked. Refugees, blocked. Everything's blocked by this bill and interrupted debate. And then we were told that we're going to take a week's vacation during Easter. Members of the Senate, can we take a week's vacation with this sitting on our calendar? Our calendar's swelling like it's got a peanut allergy, and nothing's being done. We can't take a week off. We can't take a week's vacation with this looming. However you vote, and I've told you and I've told the world, unless we have reform over at the DOT, Senator Peeler is not even going to entertain the question of sending more money over there. That's where I am. That's where I stand. Members of the Senate, today is the time.
Senator from Richland, what purpose do you rise? Sir.
Senator Cherokee, you for a couple of questions.
You for a question.
Yes.
Proceed.
Senator, did you know that I concur with you about restructuring the DOT? If we don't do it, we're going to face a gubernatorial veto, and we may not have the votes to overcome that if that's a component of the three-pronged package that will ultimately pass. Did you know that?
Yes.
Senator, do you receive emails about putting and letters and telephone calls, additional revenue into the Department of Transportation, into our roads, infrastructure, and bridge needs in the state? Are you receiving correspondence on this?
Just like you.
Were you aware that 6 years ago, and I think these figures are fairly accurate, we were putting all in $1.1 billion into our road structures, which include infrastructure, bridges, et cetera, in South Carolina, $1.1 billion. Do you know what that figure is today?
No.
Based on the appropriations bill we passed last year, we put in close to $2 billion a year in revenue without a fuel tax increase in our roads and bridges and infrastructure. I think it's important for the people of South Carolina to understand we are prioritizing this, and we've done it over the past 6 years without a tax increase. And sometimes when you go to the fill up your vehicle, and you put the pump in and you look at it, the cost of it, I just noticed with a tongue-in-cheek the other day, someone was talking about that this is a user fee. But I don't see on the gas pump the word user fee. I see tax. Is that what you see on your pumps up in Gaffney?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to share it with the people that we've almost doubled the revenue we're putting into roads in the state. And what we're talking about is not a user fee, it's a tax increase.
Point well taken, Senator from Richland, and the additional monies that we've sent over to the DOT over the last couple of years is because of the work of this Senate, a bipartisan effort that we have tried to address the needs of the DOT. But without the reform, without tax reduction, there'll be no tax increase. It'll be hard enough even with that. But that's how I see it. But we need to move this roadblock, and we're at a standstill. Our new DOT secretary, she's been over here more than she's been over there the last 4 weeks. After meeting after meeting after meeting, I wonder who's carrying the keys over there. She and her staff has been over here, and she's scheduled to come next week. The senator from Lexington tells me that we need to hear from her on exactly where we are, but with all due respect, Senator, I think we've heard enough. I do. And with you, and definitely not just DOT, I think you're exactly right. The infrastructure bank, we need to address that too. It's a total package. But I don't know if y'all have seen, if you remember the movie Patton with George C. Scott, where the mule is balked at the bridge, and the General Patton takes out the pistol and shoots the mule and tosses the mule over the bridge. It's time to shoot this mule, members of the Senate, and toss it over the bridge. Thank you.